it going, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake. We are down here in the basement. Today, I ended up having to take the day off work because Sarah and I woke up to a couple burst pipes, actually, in the very front of our house in a room that we seldom use. It turns out, something happened with the boiler, and that section of the room, or the house, is not heated very well, and the pipes burst, and we had a bunch of water all over the place. Spent the morning dealing with the plumber, so on and so forth. So got that handled. We got a big fan going, dehumidifier. Hopefully all that situation is going to be taken care of. But I also just got back from going up to my buddy Chris's shop, and I picked up one of the aspects of the whole conveyor log splitter modification thing. It's ready to go, and it's going to help us split wood, even though the conveyor isn't back yet. So let me show you what we got going on. So as you can see down here, we got the mop, a bunch of towels in this bucket. We got some cut off pipes and everything. So there was definitely some capping going on this morning as far as the plumbing goes. But what we also got is a freshly modified catch tray for the RuggedMade log splitter. Now, because we're pairing this up to the new conveyor, or new to us conveyor, we wanted this log catch tray to be modified a little bit to have some extra wings on the side here. That way the wood kind of gets funneled through, and it often used to get pushed off the side because this wasn't all that steep of an incline on the side there. But now with this extra bit, I think it will have no problem getting pushed right into the conveyor, which is also, the new trough is going to pair right up to this. One thing my buddy Chris just left for me to do is basically cut off these corners. They're a little sharp, and file down or grind down the sides with like a flapper wheel. So I'm going to cut off all four of the corners there. That way there's just no sharp sides or edges for us to get cut on. And then eventually we'll paint. But I'm not going to paint today because I want to make sure that everything, works well before we go ahead and paint everything. That way we don't need to, cut anything lower or, anything like that, make more work for ourselves. So I'm going to get going on this. Chris should be coming by in a little bit once he gets home from work, and we're going to put this thing to the test and try and split up a bunch of the ash rounds that are underneath where we're going to be building that pavilion thing to get them out of the way. And, that way we have more working room to do that whole project. So we got a lot of stuff going on here, but let's get busy on this log table, catch tray, whatever you want to call it. So there we go. All the corners cut off, everything ground down nice so it's smooth. Chris laid some nice welds on there. So it is basically ready for paint at some point, but like I said, I just want to make sure that everything works properly before we go ahead and paint it. But this should work just fine for now. It just takes a couple bolts to bolt it back onto the RuggedMade log splitter. So let's head outside and get this puppy mounted back up. Okay guys, we are back in the wood yard. Got the catch tray, modified catch tray, and we're going to throw it on the RuggedMade splitter here. I actually used the RuggedMade splitter the day after Christmas with my father and my uncle. We split up a tote. You can kind of see where it's all roughed up there. One tote of some of this ash for my dad to bring back to their house for their wood stove. All the bolts we left in place here, so it should be pretty quick and easy as long as I brought the right size ratchet and wrench, which I believe everything is 3/4. So I got a 3/4 wrench and 3/4 ratchet, and we're gonna get busy. Okay guys, Chris just got here, so we are going to try and get this thing on.
Remember, outside voices now.
Yeah, it's outside voices now. While we were filming that whole thing, we used the microphone in the beginning of the video, and I left the transmitter or whatever in my pocket here. But we put the microphones back in the charging case. Turns out the transmitter was searching for the microphones the whole time, so it ran out of power. But I just checked the timestamp, and we started splitting at 3:50 roughly p.m. It is now 5:24, and we filled up 3 totes.
Yeah, two shorts and a tall.
2 small and a large, so that's a little over a cord. And we did that in what, an hour and a half, roughly.
Yeah.
We hit probably the nastiest piece that I've ever encountered since I've had this log splitter. Yeah. Usually you rotate it, a couple times, and it'll bust it. But this was a stump of an ash. This was all ash. And what? It had you counted 3?
It looked like 3 liters on it or something.
Yeah, it was 3 piths, the rings all converged on 3 separate areas. And I got a new camera, so some of that footage you might have seen was a new camera, but I was doing a little up close of one, and Chris spun the piece around with 3 separate crotches. It was just a nasty piece. We finally got it down. It's gonna make some good wood. All the crotch pieces I saved for myself in the stove. The nicer stuff we put in the tote. But what do you think of this thing?
I'm enjoying it so far. We have some minor modifications to make. We found that when splitting the big wood, which we don't typically do, but when we do get it, it gets stuck in between the upright wedge and the whatever side is larger.
Right. If it's not perfectly centered.
Right. So we might have to go back onto these and cut them a little bit shorter on the wedge side and taper them up towards the end.
I'm thinking because the wood that we split is 16 inches long, if we taper it so that it gets to be full height at 16 inches from the back, then we shouldn't encounter any problems. And at this end, it would still be high enough to function as that funnel to push through. Because the other thing that happens is sometimes you just split a piece and it pops wide open, and then the piece will get jammed up in between here, because here to here is roughly 16 inches. So if it's just right, or the piece is a little short or something, it can get jammed up. So I think, cutting it, tapering it, up to here, and then full height should alleviate most issues, and then maybe an extra vertical support. As well, because this stuff, it's decent thickness. I forget exactly what it is. I think it might have been 3/16 plate, but if you 37 tons of force is a lot.
Yeah, you see it bend as it gets pushed out. You can kind of see a little bit of a wave in it now.
Right, it's a little warped. So I think an extra support and just tapering it up will help a decent amount. But I like the depth of it. I don't think it needs to be any higher. I don't think it needs to be any lower. The wood seemed to push through. Obviously, only time will tell. But that was a good session.
Yeah.
A little over a cord in an hour and a half, roughly, give or take. So yeah, that was good. Today is Wednesday, all day. And on Friday, Chris and I are going to be going up to the other Chris's shop to pick up the conveyor with a new trailer. Well, new to us trailer that I scored a really good deal on last week. So look forward for that video, or look forward to that video. That we'll be filming it on Friday. I don't know when it's going to come out. Maybe on Sunday. So that should be good, and we'll be bringing the conveyor back. Hopefully all the kinks will be worked out of it, and well, most of the kinks. And then when we get everything all set up, we can work out the final kinks.
Yeah, all about fine-tuning from there.
Yeah, fine-tuning. It looks good. I saw it today. Chris and I went over some final details as far as, what's going to be going on, and then we can get it back and hopefully get a roof up on this place. We needed to get all these rounds out of the way so that the splitter can be centered between the posts. And yeah, that's it. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas, and you have a Happy New Year coming up. Anything else?
No, I got nothing.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. Really appreciate it. We've been getting a ton of new subscribers. Welcome to anybody that's new to the channel. Questions, comments, feedback, throw it down in the comments section. But for now, I'm Jake.
And I'm Chris.
This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys here next time.